Hello and welcome to the Conscious Collective. I'm here with Lucy and I am Emily, and we have something very exciting that we're going to bring through today. The Council of Light are a beautiful galactic collective who have been supporting us, and they've been in Lucy's ear and in my fields, just so keen to bring through some helpful information for us all. So we're not in the podcast studio. We've gone rogue. We haven't been together. We're remote, but as we are with the council anyway. So it all works out perfectly. And I'm going to swiftly move this on to the beautiful Lucy and the Council of Light. Welcome, welcome.
Hello. So yes, we're broadcasting this today because Emily was very much feeling the connection with the Council of Light, and they were very much coming through strongly, saying they wanted to continue their work with us. But rather than us just coming through our podcast, just doing some transmissions and some channeled messages, right from the beginning, they've always said they want to work with us as the Conscious Collective to really align their frequency with the Conscious Collective frequency, because they are here to support the Conscious Collective and the conscious raising of the consciousness of the collective of the planet at this time. That's their purpose, that's their mission, if you want, and that's Emily and I's mission. And so this is where the Conscious Collective was born from, as it were. We birthed it through that intention, that shared intention. Emily has that mission and intention, I have that mission and intention, and the Council of Light and the many councils of lights and galactic friends all have this mission. So we are really trying to bring through the messages that they have. And Emily and I have really just taken it back to basics and talked to them and said, what is it that you want to bring through? And how can we help? How can we work with you? And as much as we love our podcast, we just feel there's so many messages, aren't there, Emily? So many messages.
There's lots.
So many all the time. And within a message, the messages themselves are expansive. So we connected with them earlier today, well, not that long ago, and looking for some messages to bring through. But after the first one, they stopped me and they said, are you sure you want to bring through more than one message in one transmission? And I was like, okay, why not? Let's feel into that. And they just showed me that with each download, with each message that they're bringing through, there is a lot within that one message. It's like a lot of codes within that message. And so really us as humans need to allow ourselves to integrate that message, because what we're doing there is receiving codes through words. So by listening to this transmission today, you are uploading a new level of awareness, a new level of understanding. And sometimes parts of the message will be very new to you. Some people will know some of the message already, but there'll be another layer on top of it that they haven't learned yet. So it's really, these messages need to meet people where they're at, and then it's over to you to go and really kind of embody it and allow it to infiltrate into your understanding and your consciousness and your awareness of the nature of reality. And the message, a lot of these messages and most of these messages are about, yes, living a better life and helping to support you transform your life into a higher frequency, so you'll be happier, in more enjoyment, in more of these beautiful love codes and love frequencies which the planet need right now. But that's really the point of the Conscious Collective and the point of the Council of Light and many of these beings that are here to support us, is to really support those of us who are on our own individual soul mission to raise the frequency of the planet at this time. So there's no getting around that with us. That's our mission, that's our shared mission. And so we're here to support anybody else who is on that mission, who's got that level of understanding. They may not know what a light worker is, they may not quite know, or you might be really far down the line with it. It really doesn't matter. where you're at with your level of awareness. These transmissions, the podcast, will meet you wherever you're at and level you up, whatever you're needed. So we tapped in today, and yeah, the message that was for the collective was, or is, about understanding the purpose really of the light codes that are flowing through the sun at the moment. There's a lot of information out there about the Schumann resonance and the spiking of that and the codes coming through the sun. And it was really just to, what they're saying is they would like humans to understand how to work with this, that we've picked up on that this is happening. We've got a level of understanding there already. Many of you will know that you feel funny when there's these spikes, that we feel different, and it's a bit of guidance from them as to how to embody these codes properly, so that you, and sort of safely, they want to give some sort of protocols around that so that you feel good whilst you're changing your DNA, you know, because it is a big change and it's a bit of a roller coaster for some people. Many of us are, well, we're empaths, you know, we're sensitive souls, and so we feel this in our field. Like Emily said, she felt the Council of Light in her field. She was just aware of them, and so we very much feel these codes coming through. But we're not necessarily working with the codes, is what the Council of Light are saying. We're not necessarily working with them and embodying them in the way that will benefit us the most. So the advice that they've given us is to become aware of, and so many of us, like I said, we're also intuitive, become aware of the reality that that is what is happening at the moment, that these codes are being sent through in order to upgrade our DNA, and that we should normalize that and accept that. And then when we do, we can start working with our intuition, with our guides, so that when we get that feeling, and I know I get it a lot, Emily, I'm sure you do too, where we just feel that there's something coming through the sun. We just feel that there's something there, and you can enjoy playing around with that and working with that. But when you feel very drawn to the sun, feel drawn to the light rays coming through, maybe you're feeling like you want to take pictures of it all the time. That's how it sort of started for me, and I recognized weirdly a difference in the sun. I remember looking at the sun differently, and I remember talking to my mum about it and thinking, has the sun changed? She must have thought I was bonkers, like she must always do with my conversations. Like, has the sun changed? I was driving along and she was like, what do you mean? I was like, just really noticing like the rays of the sun coming through the trees. It's almost like white light rather than the way it used to be to me. You know, something had changed in my perception. So if you're going through that, then you're tapping in, and there's so many other ways. How you're feeling as well might be an indicator as to you're tapping into these plasma codes coming through. Whatever it is for you that you are aware that things are happening, start to work with these codes consciously. And this is word for word what the Council of Light have brought through for us today. They said humans need to start to work with these codes consciously. So all we have to do is take a moment to set that intention, to say, okay, I'm going to go for a walk in nature, or I'm going to go and stand outside of my garden, and I'm going to consciously connect to these light codes, and I'm going to receive whatever upgrades, whatever is right for me. Okay, whatever is for my highest good. So just the way you would with maybe Reiki energy or life source energy or any other energy work that you're doing. So walking out there and then consciously connecting and acknowledging that that's what you're doing. So it's that conscious connection and that intention that is everything, as we know with energy work. So making that conscious connection and then opening up your crown chakra. So all you do is just visualize opening up a V shape above your head, opening up your crown chakra and inviting those codes to come through the sun's rays down into your crown, down into your body, into your central column of energy, and from there they can go out. Okay, because what's happening is they're showing me them coming into our field this way, and they're like, that's okay, but this way is going to serve you better. All right, so that's kind of all we need to know. Of course, we can dive in deeper if we want to. Of course, we can look for scientific proof, but let's just focus on the task in hand. They're like, you can waste your time with that if you want, Lucy, but why don't you just do it? Because trust us that this is the way to work with it. And, you know, when I hear things like that, it's logical to me. as an energy worker, and I appreciate I am an energy worker, but if anyone knows anything about energy, this is how we receive. This is how we receive the energy from source. So it makes absolute sense when they're saying this is the best way for you to receive these upgrades and these codes, because it comes through your central field and then it gets sent out to wherever and sent through to your DNA. You know, that's the level that it's upgrading you on, which is incredible. So what they've described to me as this process is like receiving an attunement. So again, it's making so much logical sense. The more this sort of message settles in with me, when we attune to Reiki, everything, the attunement's done through the crown and through the central column. So, oh my gosh, this is making sense as I'm feeling into this message that they're giving. So this is how you receive an attunement. And these light codes are an attunement, and they are an activation. So what they said to me is that people can come and see me or Emily and receive activations, or many other light workers who are at that point of being able to attune others and activate others. You can come and see someone for that. But what you can do, there's so much coming through these plasma light codes right now, you can go and upgrade yourself. And that's why they wanted to work with us specifically, because they know that that is our mission, that we're not here just to get one-to-one clients, that we are here for you as a collective so that you can help yourselves, you can attune yourselves, you can activate yourselves, and you can go on your own awakening journey that is unique for you. And so this is you taking control of that process yourself, and all you have to do is trust source, trust these light codes, that they will meet you where you're at and attune you and activate you to your next level of DNA activation, which is incredible. And actually, the less you get your mind to overthinking in that, the better. Because you could say, well, what does that mean? How's that going to change my life? What's going to change in my life? And you have to let that go, is what they're saying, because you are incredibly complex as an individual. And what this will do is meet you where you're at, and it will only ever be for your highest good. So you set that intention when you open up to receive these codes. I'm receiving these codes for my highest good, as part of my ascension, as part of my mission on this planet, and in this body, in this experience, to help the planet, to help me and my soul's ascension, and just open up and receive and make it as simple as that, is what they're saying. So I hope that makes sense. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Yes,
That made a lot of sense. That was absolutely beautiful. And as you were saying it, my root chakra is just tingling away. So I just thought I better add that for anyone else. Just is coming down our central channel and going through all our nadis and through your chakra systems, many of your energy systems, if not all. And so you might feel little tingles, warmth, or just be in a lovely element of bliss.
But that's a really good point, Emily. That's a really good point that you've mentioned. I'm so glad your root chakra was tingling, and I feel like that was a message for me to add. The next part of the transmission was to make sure you're anchoring yourself down through your roots. So thank you, Emily. They're coming through you with that message. That's what they were doing by showing you that tingling of your feet, because when you're doing the work, so you've opened up your crown, you're bringing it through, you're allowing it into your Taurus field, allowing it into your energy field, but then ground your energy down, because what we're doing with these codes is we're embodying them into our physical body. It's so important. It's such a key part to this. And again, that's the bit that people are skipping a little bit. You know, they're just walking around receiving these codes, but it's not integrating fully and properly, and people aren't managing their energy around it. Does that make sense? So the key thing here is to ground your energy down, just like we do as grid workers. Ground that energy down. So visualizing that central column, like Emily says, but then extending that central column of energy whilst you're receiving those codes, and just making sure you're anchoring that column really deep down into the central core of the earth, into Mama Gaia. And you can do that just with intention, just knowing and trusting that that is what's happening by you setting that intention. But don't forget to do that. Do you see what I mean? Don't forget to open your crown. Don't forget to feel those light codes and invite them coming in, give them full permission, and then anchor yourself down. Make sure you're bringing that into your physical body. And also, as you're doing that, you are becoming a channel for...
And a pillar of light.
Yes, a pillar of light. You're literally anchoring in the light. And that's the key thing, is we need a little bit more guidance around anchoring the light in. And physically bringing it into our bodies and integrating it fully. Because there's going to be a lot more coming. A lot more is what I'm hearing them say now. They're like, there's so much more to come. Everybody needs to know this so that we can start doing this really properly. And then in terms of the trajectory of the Earth's awakening, that's going to have that one thing. The more people that do that, the better. That is going to have such a huge impact on the Earth's ascension.
It builds momentum, doesn't it? It builds momentum. And I can feel the field buzzing and everyone's momentum going, bring the council through. So should we do that now?
Yeah. Well, I think we just did we not? That was their message. So yeah, unless you want to bring another message through, that's what the council were. That's their message, darling. So I think that's it really is.
Did you want to channel them maybe, perhaps?
We can bring them through if you like, yeah.
Just for a few little words.
I think they've been adding in as I've been talking, but yeah, let's see what they have to say. They're in the room now. And they're always here with us, and they're always here supporting us. They say whenever we do these things that we can rely on them to always come through. They'll always be here. Beloved ones, thank you for watching, they're saying. Thank you for listening, they're saying. Thank you for aligning with this message. And we hope, our hope is that people go away from this and actually do what we are asking them to do. They're giving a call out to people to trust and believe, to have a lot of faith because it is different and it's new, but to trust it. And they're also saying it's easy. They're saying it's so easy. And they're saying the benefit to you as an individual. They're like, talk to them about the benefit to them, Lucy, because the benefit to you is exponential. They're saying we want this for the planet, but it's also serving the individual hugely. It's going to raise your frequency. It is going to raise your level of awareness. It is going to help you on your soul's expansion, your soul's journey. Just by doing that, they're like just walking outside, doing that as a practice. It's almost like an energy work practice from the old that needs to be upgraded, is what they're saying, and can be upgraded now by standing and receiving these light codes. So
do they think it's better to stand, or should we sit?
You could sit
and consciously do it. Which is the best way? And does the sun need to be out?
So they're saying when the rays come through, and so that's a really good question, and they're saying that use your intuition. And when, do you remember they said at the beginning about having that feeling that, oh, today the sun rays feel a bit different today? Because there will be there are peaks, there's times when there's more coming through. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So yes, the sun being out and the rays coming through, it's more potent. You can sit and do it if it's a grey day, but it's not going to be the same kind of level of penetration coming through because the clouds filter it out, which is a whole nother topic. So yes, I think it's when you're looking at the sun is what they're saying, and you get that feeling. They're telling me, describe the feeling you get to people when you just know. I just sort of know that something's going on and that something's coming through. So start to work with that is what they're saying. And they're saying, just like you tell people how to work with their intuition, you teach people how to work with their intuition, that's an extension of that, and to set their intention to do that. And I think what they're saying is there's a lot of people out there that are on their own journey with this, that they're doing a lot of this themselves without going to energy workers, without going to have activations by say somebody who does that. They're doing it themselves. So it's for those people who feel like they want to do it all themselves and they are already really connected. They're the people who can just go out. They already get a sense that it's coming through, but they're not managing the process. Does that make sense? They're not managing that process. They're feeling really sensitive every time there are spikes. They're aware of these spikes, but they're discombobulated with it. They're struggling with it. They're feeling dizzy. They're feeling sick. They're feeling strange. Okay. They're like, that's because you're not doing this.
So if they consciously and intentionally set that to channel the light through them, to receive the codes
and to ground themselves,
to ground them all the way down into the center of the earth, that will help, and that will also lift their frequency. They'll feel more blissful feelings, more relaxed. It supports the nervous system tremendously, doesn't it? Really calibrates the nervous system.
It's a missing thing, is what they said. This is the whole point of this download. They were like, there's something missing in the collective. That's how they started this message. This very key thing that is missing in the collective at the moment, that people are missing, and it's not making them feel good. And they're like, we want to come in and explain how they can receive these codes and feel amazing, and not feel all of that dizziness, and like they have to go and lay down, is they're saying to me, like they're going to have to go and lay down because they don't feel well, and it's because they really need to ground the energy, but they don't really know how. So look, this is how to do it, and it's actually really simple, and don't overcomplicate it is what they're saying. It can be simple, it can be easy. I'm just listening to what they're saying. But they're just encouraging people to be active in their participation with the codes, is their words. Be active with your participation. Is there anything else? Sorry, yeah.
We could do this seated. We could do this walking.
Yeah.
We should ideally be doing this outside, but it is grounding, if you're feeling that way anyway, could be done at any time in any location, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Feeling those kind of ascension symptoms.
But this is light code. So
but when it comes to the plasma light codes, and follow our intuition for how long. We don't need to set a timer. It doesn't need to be 2 minutes or half an hour. Allow it to be organic, and you'll kind of get an awareness of when, I think I'm complete for where I am right now, or what's required, what my container can hold. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, they're saying absolutely, again, trusting your intuition on that. And I'm hearing, I know this sounds strange, but this is just what they're saying to me. They're saying, don't be greedy.
Yes.
And by that, they mean...
More is not better, is it?
No.
No, it's an overload, in fact, isn't it? It's like an energy surge until you get too wired and you're putting too much energy actually through a circuit that can't take it.
And they're saying this is where people have been going wrong. You know, some of us in the collective will be very aware then when light codes are coming through, and they're kind of like, oh, give me kind of thing, and it's sort of just overloading them.
It's just old programming.
It's not the way to do this. And you don't, they're saying, because they're saying you can track this, and you can track when the codes are coming through. So that's another way of doing it, is what they're saying to me now. They're saying you can track it, and then you can receive them when you know certain codes are coming through. They're saying, but again, don't be greedy with it. Don't be like, oh, give me, I want to ascend really quickly. It's only ever, and again, they just want to highlight this, to the level that is right for me. So set that intention. I want to receive these light codes to the level that is right with me. So anyone listening to this, please write that down and have your intention really clear with it. So any energy work, you have to be really clear with your intention. But with so when you go to somebody like us for an activation, we use all of those protocols. So we are very connected, and it's very held, so that you don't receive too much that's going to almost sort of short circuit you and make you feel unwell and make you feel dizzy, make you feel tired. You know, we are in control of that for you. So that's the benefit of going to somebody who really knows what they're doing with this kind of work. If you're doing it yourself, which thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people are, that's fine. But you need to know, and this is the messages that they're saying, you need to know how to work with energy a little bit here. So listen to what we're saying, so that you have some parameters around that, and you won't feel the discombobulation and all of the side effects that people have been feeling, like ascension symptoms is the word they're dropping in right now.
It's true.
People call them ascension symptoms, and they're like, people don't have to be feeling that way. Yeah, people don't have to be feeling that way. If you understand some very basic energy tools that we both know, then you can do this. You can do it. You don't need somebody else, but you do need to know what you're doing a little bit, to reap the benefits and not feel funny. So yeah.
Oh, well, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you to the Council of Light for your participation and co-creation with us. We love it. We appreciate it. We know that's what we're here to do.
And they're saying we have so much more to share.
Well, on that note, I think we will love you and leave you, and maybe hop on and share some more with them in a separate episode.
We will, absolutely. All right, darling.
Joyful blessings, everyone.
Bye
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye. Oh.